All right, well, it is 7:02, almost 7:03, so I'm going to go ahead and start the webinar. Welcome to Gardner Elementary School. It is really nice to have you here with us tonight. You see that we have multiple people sitting on the panel. I will not take a lot of time to introduce them now because you are going to hear from each of them during different parts of the presentation, and they will introduce themselves then. But I will tell you that I am the principal. My name is Nadia Askalkov, and I am super excited and proud to be a part of this community. And you have made the right choice to come and visit us this evening. I think you will be very excited to hear what we have to tell you. I have with me tonight two of our teachers who are both kindergarten teachers, and they are going to explain the kindergarten program in particular. That's Mrs. Loebner and Mrs. Farley. I also have multiple parents that are going to talk to you just about the wonderfulness of our community and how parents are engaged and a part of who Gardner is. And then, as you can see, we have some super duper cute children that are going to tell you what Gardner is all about from the student perspective through their eyes. So I really am happy that you're here with us. If you have questions, I think that we can pause towards the end and answer those questions. And if you want to put them in the Q&A box, hopefully that works. And let's see how the evening goes. I do have a presentation that I'm going to start to share. If you just give me one moment, I will do that. And while I'm getting that presentation ready, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. This is my 5th year with Gardner, my 5th year in Los Altos School District. Prior, I was up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was a principal up there as well. I was an assistant principal, so this is my 10th or 11th year as an administrator. And before that, I was a social studies high school teacher for 9 years, and I taught just about everything. I taught honors economics, AP world history, government, US history, all of those really super interesting topics. I could not be happier to be a part of Los Altos School District. It's been an amazing 5 years, and we are going to tell you lots about that here starting now. So let me get the presentation going. All right, so Allie, I can see you, and Annie, can one of you tell me, can you see the screen? You can? That's fantastic. Okay, thank you. So welcome to Gardner This is our kindergarten new family information night. You are going to hear a lot of really good things about both our school and our school district tonight. I do want to highlight that we are a California Distinguished School. We received that award in 2018, so we're very proud of that. Here is basically our agenda for the evening. You are going to hear how we grow modern learners. You are going to hear about a very strong teaching community that we have, not only at Gardner but in Los Altos School District. And you're going to hear about our partnering with families and how that creates a very engaged community. I'm going to start, first of all, by talking about growing modern learners. It's super important to us, and we believe passionately that there's a difference between learning stuff and becoming learners. And we want our students to become lifelong learners who love learning. And the reason behind that is this graph right here kind of shows you that in the 1900s, knowledge was doubling every century. This is knowledge that people could obtain themselves. And as you can see, the slope goes up exponentially. In 2020, it's doubling every 11 to 12 hours. And we are in 2020, so you can only imagine what's going to happen as your children enter elementary school and go through their school career, how information, it's so easy to obtain. So it's not about knowing the answer. It's not about finding the answer. It's more about that love of learning and the why behind what the answer is. And how do we do that in Los Altos? Well, we do that with the 6 C's. We are very passionate about the 6 C's, and you will see the 6 C's throughout everything that we do. We want to build character and develop character. So we want students to be responsible and empathetic. We want them to be creative. We want them to come up with ideas on their own and problem solve. And that's part of critical thinking as well. Citizenship in our community, citizenship in the state of California, in the United States, and even citizenship as a global citizen, super important to us. Collaboration, we collaborate with students, we collaborate with parents, our teachers collaborate, we collaborate with other schools. Collaboration is huge. It is not a school word. I watch my husband collaborate with his peers at work all the time. The skill set to collaborate with somebody and to share information and learn information from others is a lifelong skill that our students need to learn. And then obviously communication, we communicate in many ways, multiple ways: reading, writing, speaking, listening. So those are a thread that's throughout everything that we do at Gardner Bullis. And you are going to see that in this presentation. So our modern learners, it's a student-centered approach. We empower students to become those explorers, those lifelong learners that are interested. Our instructional program definitely encourages that. And our curriculum is built around the 6 C's. We are a TK through 8th grade school district, so we have that continuity all the way through Egan or Block middle schools, but also we partner and work with the high schools in the surrounding community. So it's not just, kindergarten, we're gonna do it and not do it in 1st grade, or we're gonna do it in elementary and not in middle school. It's a continuation. We are a student-centered approach of modern learners, and a part of that we really believe in is our small neighborhood schools. This is a neighborhood school, so if you live in the neighborhood, you might live next door to a classmate, and that's super important. And that fosters that community. And when a child has that community around them, we really believe that that is a student-centered approach, and that's a part of being a modern learner in the 21st century. Individualized instruction comes from relationship building, and you'll hear a little bit about that in a video that I'm going to show in just a moment. Individualized instruction includes learning about what students are passionate about at their level. So they're going to read a book that they want to read at their level. It's no longer everybody in the classroom reading the same book. Lots of hands-on project-based learning, lots of social emotional learning, which you'll hear more about in a minute. And that project-based learning really inspires critical thinking. I want to pause for a moment because this is a current picture. This is a picture of a 3rd grade classroom, and I just wanted to show you what does it look like today in the world of COVID and during our pandemic. I will talk about some procedures that we're doing because of COVID, but this just kind of gives you an idea of students wearing masks. The desks are separated and the teacher is separated from the students, but they are so very happy to be here with us right now. Here is just a little bit about our core curriculum at Gardner. We obviously do language arts, math, science, and social studies. A big component of our language arts and our mathematics is the balanced approach. We balanced meaning that a teacher will model what she or he wants the student to learn, demonstrate it. The student will have some independent time where they get to practice that skill set. And then a teacher may come up alongside them and guide them a little bit more in what they need. And then that student and teacher get to share their learning together. The class is sharing and learning. That's a real important part of that balanced learning in the classroom. And we do that through Readers and Writers Workshop. which you could easily Google and find more about. It's a Lucy Calkins program. We have a very similar approach with mathematics. Right now we are using San Francisco Math. That's another program that would be very easy for you to Google and learn more about. And you can see here for yourself all of the different things that we are approaching. Our science is next generation science standards. Those are amazing and a big part of our STEM program. And then social studies, I have a social studies background, so I definitely want students to continue learning about civics and government and social studies. STEM, speaking of STEM, so STEM is a lot more than just the math and the technology and the engineering and the science. There's a lot more that we believe STEM is about. We believe that it's about problem solving, and we believe that it's about making sense of things and applying skills to real life problems. For instance, weather or droughts or building something or looking at how animals in their habitat are building and what does that look like. And we believe that STEM is a mindset. It's the way you think about something, and it is applied across the curriculum. STEM is not a place that you go to, although we do have a fabulous STEM lab. It's an amazing STEM lab. We do have a place that has STEM supplies, but really STEM can happen anywhere. STEM can happen in your kitchen, in your backyard, and in a classroom, outside on the field. And that is how we approach this very important concept of STEM with our students. Obviously, it means engineering, hands-on. It also means computer science. You're going to hear from our littles in just a minute about computer science. Even in kindergarten, they are learning all of these different things, kinder through 6th grade, and then definitely in middle school. And again, it's about project-based learning, it's differentiation. So it's going to be applied according to what the student needs and likes. And it involves that creativity, that critical thinking, and that collaboration and working with one another. So that was the core, which is very important. We at Gardner Bullis have some of the strongest, highest test scores in the state. We have had for many, many years. You can look Los Altos up and you can see that. You can look up Gardner Bullis and you can see that. Test scores are important. Math is super important. Engineering, all of that technology is super important. But we are passionate here at Gardner Bullis about the whole child. It is so important. There's so much more to a child and to a human being about being a lifelong learner than the core. It's about visual arts. It's about performing arts. It's about music. And so we have a music program, thankfully, to our Los Altos Education Foundation, which we call LAEF. They are amazing. In my previous district, I never saw such a thing as an education foundation that supports schools the way LAEF does. And LAEF is supported by our parents. Our parents are incredible, both the PTA component and the LAEF. And together, those two entities, they bring to Gardner and to LASD art, music instruments. They bring us PE. We have a PE teacher, that's Mr. Ortman, and having a PE teacher is amazing. His background, his education, his passion is PE. So in districts where teachers have to do PE on their own, it's not like that here. We have Mr. Ortman. Every school in the district has a PE teacher. We also believe in learning outside of the school. So we are learning where we can maybe go to a forest and learn about all of that cool science stuff out in the real environment. And so we take field trips. Our 4th graders go up to Coloma and they spend the night up there, and that's very exciting. Our 6th graders go to Walden West and they spend a week at science camp. We have living classroom. So we have volunteer not just parents, volunteer community members that come into our school and they teach our kids all about growing gardens and eating from those gardens and what did the ancient civilization do to survive. And we grow an ancient civilized garden right here on campus. And so we definitely have a whole child approach. And again, it's much more than just the core of LEA or ELA, math, science, and social studies. It's very important that we support all students. We really believe in the all students can be successful approach. And so we have multiple ways of supporting all students. And we do have a special education program right here on campus. We have an entire team that works here on campus. They are here every day working with our students that need the support. You can see their different titles here. And then as needed, we have support staff that comes to campus, such as our occupational therapists and sight and hearing therapists. And we currently have students that need all of these supports, including our English language teacher. I'm very proud of our special education program. I'm very proud of our English language learner program. We are a multicultural campus. We have over 40 different languages and cultures that are experienced and being lived right here on campus. And so it's important that if a child comes and speaks only Japanese or speaks only Spanish, that we can support those students. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, not only do we have core and music and performing arts, but we also have character development and a big component of social emotional learning, which I'm going to spend a few minutes talking to you about right now. I recently finished my doctorate program and I did my doctoral study on social emotional health of a school and the social emotional health of administrators, teachers, and students. And it is a known fact that students perform much better. They perform well when they are social emotionally feeling good about themselves, when they are social emotionally healthy. And if they're not, they're like Swiss cheese and you're trying to build on top of this piece of Swiss cheese with holes and it's wiggly. And so our community at Gardner has spent a lot of time with the support of PTA and the belief of our teaching staff to make sure that we come to student learning through the lens of social emotional health. And that starts with our character development of who are Grizzlies. And we have decided together as a community, we spent quite a bit of time talking about this and what does it mean to be a Grizzly? And not just at Gardner when you're here at school, Monday through Friday, but on Saturday and Sunday, when you're in the car driving home, when you're out on a field trip with your classmates, when you're on a boat up in San Francisco Bay, what does it mean to be a Grizzly? And we decided that this was the easiest, and you can ask kindergartners through 6th graders and they can recite this to you. And we did spend some time talking about what does each individual component mean. I won't go into that right now, but you can imagine it means pure awesomeness, right? All right, so the social emotional learning component that I was talking about has everything to do with programs like this. So for example, Suite 360, we just purchased this program this year because of the support of the PTA. They said, yes, let's do this. We did an investigation of what's out there and what do we need. And Suite 360 met that need. And so it is a complete kinder through 6th grade social emotional learning program that teachers apply in the classroom during morning meeting. Students can watch videos of the different character development traits, and then teachers and students can have conversation about those videos. We have Project Cornerstone. This is another program that you could Google and learn all kinds of stuff about it. This is an amazing program supported by our parents here at campus. Volunteer parents come into the classroom and read books that have character development themes in them. They have conversations, they do projects. Responsive classroom is just a way that teachers and students interact in the classroom so students have ownership of their classroom. That's very important that they feel empowered and they feel a part of their learning. The zones of regulation and mindfulness are just tools that we use to help children with their feelings. It's okay if you're sad. It's okay if you're mad. That's totally normal and natural. But let's talk about what we're going to do when we're mad and when we're frustrated. And so we have programs that we work with our students all throughout the day, all throughout every grade level. All right. This is going to be one of your favorite parts of the evening. We have some students here that are going to speak, and I'm going to stop sharing in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you that we have Liberty that's going to talk. She's a 4th grader. We have Etta, who is a 2nd grader. Sailor and Perrin are both kindergartners. And then we have our very own Grizzly Bear mascot that is going to talk for a few minutes. Some of the things that they are going to share with you is what is it that they're learning in their grade level? Or what is it that they really like about school and about Gardner Bullis? Or what has Gardner Bullis community been doing the last couple of months? I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. What possibly could Gardner Bullis community be doing? So let me stop sharing for a moment. And I'm going to invite, do I see her? Liberty, I'm going to invite you to start.
Okay. Hi, my name is Liberty Mercury, and I'm a 4th grader of room 14. In math, we are learning whole number division. In music, we are currently memorizing 50 Nifty by Ray Charles. In PE, we are currently in the hockey unit. Next week, we'll be in the basketball unit. I've been using a Reaper stick from a Halloween costume for my hockey stick. Reading is my favorite subject. Gardner Bullis teaches us to take notes while we read and help us get more out of our reading. My favorite part of our last reading unit was when we did hurricane and tornado research groups. We were divided into teams and we researched a different subtopic and created one slide in a slideshow. At the end, we got to present to everyone. It was so fun. In science, we are learning about the human body. We learned the answers to questions. The first question was, why do biceps bulge? In social studies, we learned about the regions and climate of California. The most recent thing we did was study Native California Indians. In writing, we wrote personal, then persuasive essays. I used my personal essay to try and convince my parents to get a dog. Now we are on the waiting list to get a dog in January. My favorite part about school is the starting arts program for the kindergartner through 3rd graders. It's a fun program where we learn singing and dancing. Then 4th through 6th graders get to do music classes, which I am also really excited about. Hi, my name is Etta and I'm in 2nd grade. My favorite subjects are math and reading. Here's a little bit about what we are learning. In reading, we are reading nonfiction books and learning more about a subject by reading lots of different books on that topic. In writing, we are editing our nonfiction stories and paying attention to who our audience is and how to keep them interested. In math, we are subtracting numbers within 100. In phonics, we are learning about word patterns and how to spell more words. In social studies, we just finished the unit on maps and why people move. In PE, we are in the kicking unit, and in computer science, we're learning how to code with the Angry Birds. Hi, my name is Taylor, and my name is Taylor Mercury, and I'm in kindergarten in Miss Farley's class. The best thing I have learned this year is how to read. I started kindergarten in September without knowing how to read at all. I have loved learning this new skill. I love reading books by myself now. What I love most about school is recess and lunch. We get to eat our food and play with our friends on the playground.
There you go.
Hi, my name is Perrin and I'm in kindergarten. My favorite subjects are writing and math. In reading, we are learning how to use our voice to make a book come to life. In writing, I am working on a nonfiction chapter book with pictures, and we're learning how to make writing easier to read. In math, we are learning about 2D shapes. In phonics, we are learning how to write snap words. In science, we are learning about animals and their behaviors. In social studies, we are learning about taking turns and why rules are important. In computer science, we are playing games to learn how to code. In art, we are learning how to use symbols and words to our art to tell a story. My favorite part of the day is learning from Miss Farah.
Hi, I'm the Gardner Grizzly Bear. I love being at Gardner because there are so many fun events. Here are some of my favorites. We recently had our walkathon. It's the most fun way to exercise and to be with my friends and support our school. This year it was Halloween themed and we even got candy along the way. I really liked our book fair because I love shopping for books and also the feeling of reading on a cozy bed in winter. We have lots of spirit days, and I love these days because I can dress up silly. We get a day off school. Every year at the end of the school year, we have field day. We get a day off school and a chance to play my favorite sports and activities with my best friends. I hope to see you at one of these fun events next year.
Oh my goodness, I got tears in my eyes. That was just really, really wonderful. You guys are absolutely modern learners. You've learned so much. That was great. Thank you so much, students. All right, I am going to hopefully go back to my presentation. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So the next component of the presentation is about the strong teaching community. Now that we've seen our modern learners, let's find out about who's teaching those modern learners, and that is, of course, our teachers. We have incredibly high qualified, professionally developed and experienced teachers in Los Altos School District. I take great pride in my staff. I always tell them, and I don't just say it to say it, but I always tell them we have the best staff in Los Altos, and by far the best staff in my 10 years of being an administrator. They are passionate about what they do, and you're going to see that in a few moments from the kindergarten teachers, and they are passionate about learners. If we want our children to be lifelong learners, well, they are the models of that. And they are mentored and professionally developed in this district. They learn how to personalize education for students. Los Altos School District takes pride in individualized learning and personalized learning. And so we spend time on talking about what does that mean to do that with our students. And we collaborate. We do professional learning communities, or PLCs. We collaborate weekly. And so teachers learn from one another in their grade level. They learn from one another from schools across the district, and they learn from one another in their vertical bands. We have multiple teachers from the Teacher of the Year Award in Santa Clara County. Gardner has a couple of them right here. And we have a very high rate of staff retention in Los Altos School District and at Gardner. I'm going to play, this is a very short video. I think it's about 2 minutes long, so I'm going to play this video.
What else could you do to figure it out?
Every single teacher I had, I love them so much.
I love bell power. What? Fix up our bell power. Bug, check to make sure you have a lowercase b, u, and g. Okay.
It's really important to have great teachers in good schools, teams that share a philosophy and really come together with student learning as a focus and a goal. Instruction is of extremely high quality here. Our teachers do such a good job teaching students because they know students. When we think about personalized learning, you can't personalize learning for kids unless you know them.
You have to find us one first.
By looking at the individual needs and looking at ways that children can collaborate and work together, it is beyond what you might see in a scripted kind of curriculum, which is a much more traditional type of approach. If you come into our classrooms, kids will be working with their peers, especially in higher level learning like critical thinking and working cooperatively with each other, because those skills are very important for our children to learn, not only just academics and the skills, but also how to use them and how to relate to people and how to be able to solve problems using the skills and knowledge that they have.
Teaching and learning for us is always responsive, making sure that who's in front of me is helping inform my instruction. Learning exists beyond that comfort zone, and our teachers are experts in being able to do that.
You want to pause again before that and split there too.
Relationships are the key to pretty much everything in Los Altos. We value relationships with our teachers, with our staffs, with our students, and we know that if we hire teachers who believe equally in that relationship piece, they're going to be successful.
Because we have those amazing, highly qualified teachers, this is the result that we get out of our district. And I mentioned earlier that for many, many years, Los Altos test scores are very high across the state. And this is an example with Los Altos School District being the blue, Santa Clara County, the red bar, and then the state of California, the yellow. And this comes from those online tests that students have to take starting in third grade. They have to take them, it's online tests. It's a state test. We call it the SBAC or the CASP. And we did not take it last year because of COVID. From what I understand, we will be taking it this year, but because we didn't take it last year, that is why the date there that you see is 2018 and 19. I just want to say before I pass the baton to our kindergarten teachers that we have an incredible staff here at Gardner. We are a family. We feel like a family. The pandemic and COVID has hit us in the heart for multiple reasons. I will share with you how it's been different because of that. But this is who we are. We love to get together and be silly and have fun, and we have so many traditions here at Gardner Bullis, and this year, because we couldn't take a staff photo, we created a Bitmoji. I don't know if you guys have a Bitmoji, but I love my Bitmoji. I think she's so cute and I use her all the time. So this is our staff photo this year, but it's still just a representation of who we are, and I love looking at it, and it just means the world to me to work with a community of not only teachers but support staff that come to school every day for the right reason, and that is the student. We are here because of your students, and we put in the time and we put in the extra work because it means everything to us. And so with that, I'm going to pass it on to Mrs. Loebner and Mrs. Farley so you can hear from them.
Good evening.
All right, Mrs. Loebner. Oh, good.
Sorry. It's always hard for me to unmute. Sorry. Good evening. My name is Pam Loebner, and this is my 40th year of teaching and my 36th in LASD. I went to LASD schools, and so did our children. In fact, they attended this very school, then Egan, before attending Los Altos High School. And that's a picture of my family. I want you to know that, oh, go ahead, Miss Farley. I'm sorry, I made a boo-boo. Go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. So I'm Colleen Farley. I'm the other kindergarten teacher here at Gardner, and I've been teaching in a classroom for 20 years, and this is my second year in LASD and also at Gardner teaching kindergarten. And just like what Miss Loebner was just saying, I'm also a district parent. My daughter went to Covington for elementary school, and she's currently at Egan. All right, Miss Loebner, back to you.
We strive here at Gardner Bullis to create an inclusive and welcoming environment where students feel free to learn and explore. Take it away.
And our curriculum is designed to meet the individual needs of all of our students. And here on this slide, I'm going to be talking about the curriculum that we use here in the school district. All of our core subject areas, so reading, writing, and math, are taught every day. And for our mathematics program, we use the San Francisco Unified School District curriculum. It's hands-on, game-like, and also has paper and pencil practice. For language arts, we use the Lucy Calkins units of study for our phonics, reading and writing curriculum. And it's a comprehensive and powerful curriculum that really prepares our students to be confident, lifelong readers and writers. And for science, as you can see on the slide and just what Dr. O said, we use the next generation science standards, and our work is project-based, and we're always engaging our students in discussion. For computer science, our students receive weekly lessons in beginning programming. One of the things they're doing is they're using the Bbot app to do this. And actually in our classrooms, and at our STEM lab, when we're able to go there, we get to use the Bbot robots. Additionally, we have monthly STEM challenges that are being done both in our classrooms and at home. For social studies, it's just like science. We have project-based learning units where the students are constantly engaged in discussion around whatever our unit is focused on at a particular time. PE, we have PE twice a week, whether we're virtual or fully in person. And for the arts, we have weekly lessons that are taught online by our LASC art docents who are amazing. We also have them in person when we're able to be fully in person, as well as the Starting Arts curriculum, where the students receive a weekly lesson in either music, drama, or integrated art. And the libraries, unfortunately, we're not able to have our weekly library lessons with our awesome librarian, Ms. Dorego, but she is providing families with books. We're still able to check out books from our library, so that's wonderful. And that was everything that I wanted to say here. Your turn, Pam.
When your child walks onto the campus, they enter a larger world and they become a GB Grizzly, where we focus on kindness, safety, respect, and doing our best. And we start each day with that focus. Your children are helpers and leaders in our classrooms. They will offer and receive friendship, forgiveness, generosity, and develop and strengthen their resilience throughout each day. We use Responsive Classroom, Mindfulness, Project Cornerstone, and Suite 360 in our classrooms to provide social emotional learning opportunities that help us hone our Grizzly skills. Your children learn to use their words in our hands to self environment when they need to problem solve a situation. And students work in heterogeneous as well as homogeneous groups that we change every few weeks in all curricular areas and in playtime. Students are mentors to each other, sharing their strengths and talents. We encourage positive self-statements to build and foster everyone's self-esteem and self-confidence. Your whole family becomes a part of this inclusive school community where everyone is welcome. On behalf of Colleen and myself, we want to thank you for taking the time to meet with us. And we hope we've painted a picture of what you can expect when you and your child become a part of our community. And if you have any questions, we are delighted to answer them. And that's.
Oh yeah, I think we have one more slide.
Oh, right.
This might help with some of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
That was lovely, Ms. Loebner. For currently what we're doing, we have synchronous instruction and asynchronous. So on our synchronous days, the students will have in-person learning 2 days a week. So you're either in cohort A or cohort B. If you're in A, you're on campus on Monday and Tuesday. If you're in B, you're on campus on Thursday and Friday. And our students are on campus from 8:30 to 1:50. That's for the kindergartners. They have recess and lunch with their own cohort. So our cohorts do not mix, mine and Miss Loebner's. And we learn, the students receive instruction across all content areas. And we do work with partners, socially distanced, but with partners in reading, writing, and math. And they have social emotional learning daily.
And our asynchronous instruction is 3 days a week. During their at-home days, the students follow weekly schedules and lesson plans that dovetail with what we're doing in the classroom. The lessons coincide with daily in-person instruction. So our kids who are at home come to our morning meeting and watch that and enjoy being together with the group before they're off on their own to do their asynchronous lessons. Our aides provide support each day when they have their asynchronous instructions, some one-on-one and small groups. And all of our students are asynchronous on Wednesdays. We didn't put this on here, but our PE instruction, our computer science, any other specials that we might have occur on our asynchronous days, our art docent lessons and living classroom as well. And each day, after we say goodbye to our kids who are in our classroom, cohort A or cohort B, we come back into our room and we have a 25-minute closing circle every day except for Wednesdays. And yet our closing circles definitely last more than 25 minutes because I don't want to say goodbye and neither do they. And we talk about what we've learned that day. And it's amazing how they've been able to take these learning plans and use them and work with them. And they're learning and they're excited about what they're learning. It's really a marvel to behold. So that's what we had to share. And if you have any questions, like I said, we're happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Loebner, Mrs. Farley. That was a really good picture of what the kindergarten classroom looks like. So we could not do any of this without our parents. And so this last portion of the program tonight, with the exception of explanation on COVID preparedness, is about our engaged community. And so I am going to pass it on to, I'm not sure who's going first, but we have several parents and they're going to introduce themselves right now.
Thanks, Nadia. Welcome, everyone. My name is Annie Schmidt. This is my 11th year as a Gardner Bullis parent. I have 3 kids who have all gone through Gardner since kindergarten. My oldest is now a sophomore at Los Altos High School, and I have one who's an 8th grader at Egan, and my youngest is now in 4th grade here at Gardner Bullis. This year, I'm honored to be the PTA president. And for those of you who don't know what the PTA is, it stands for Parent Teacher Association. And we are a very active membership on campus made of parents and teachers our main purpose is to support the school, the staff, and the students in order to provide the best possible education for our kids. And for me, the driving force behind finding myself in this position is also what I love about Gardner Bullis and what makes it a special school. And that is the strong curriculum that Nadia mentioned, the amazing community of parents, but most importantly, the teachers and the staff. One of the best things I love hearing as a parent is my child saying at the end of the year, "Oh, she was my favorite teacher of all time." But then the next year again, they say, "Oh, no, wait, this was my favorite teacher of all time." And so it just makes you feel good knowing that your child feels supported and is happy at school. I'm really happy with all the teachers and staff this year at Gardner Bullis. They're truly amazing. They're fun. They make learning fun for our kids. And you know that they're really working behind the scenes as a team. Between Mrs. Loebner, who's in her 40th year of teaching, so amazing, Our first grade teacher, Mrs. Wharton, who received the LASD Teacher of the Year, to our principal, Mrs. O, who recently received her doctorate degree. I really feel like the teachers have the skills to support my child as a whole. And they're also good at creating an emotional connection with their students, which helps give the kids the confidence to really try their best and to be good learners. Being in the Los Altos School District, we are also lucky to have the Los Altos Educational Foundation, or LAEF, which Nadia mentioned. And they pay for the staff in art, our outdoor education, which we call living classroom, our PE, our STEM, and our librarian. And honestly, I think we have the best librarian in the district, but I can go on and on about everyone. They're just all so amazing. But I mentioned our amazing principal, Mrs. O, as well. And I want to take a few minutes just to shine a light on her, because she is really the leader behind the second thing that I love about Gardner Bullis, which is a great school environment that focuses on the whole child and not just the academics. Her passion for the social, emotional well-being of both students and staff really translates into a lot of unique programs that we have at Gardner. And which I feel have really led to the success of our students. And just a few examples of what she's brought to our school includes those mindfulness programs in the classroom, the school-wide focus on character development based on those four main traits. Grizzlies are kind, safe, respectful, and do their best. And she also began an instruction program where the teachers can focus on the students' individualized learning needs through something she calls growth time, or G time. So as a parent, you can really see that she cares about her staff and her students. And in the end, I think that's what makes us a really close-knit community and a really special place. And we hope to be able to welcome you into our community here in the fall. So now I'm going to pass it on to our school ambassador and our new family welcome committee member, who you'll be hearing a lot from as a new parent in the weeks and days leading up to the start of school next year. And that is Christine Bruckner.
Thank you, Annie. Hello, I'm Christine Bruckner, and I have 3 boys that have been at Gardner Bullis since kindergarten. They're now in 1st, 3rd, and 5th grade. As Annie said, you will become familiar with my name because I usually send out the introduction email after you register to offer any assistance you may need. And I also organize the kinder play dates. They're usually about once a month starting in June, and they give the kinders and their families the opportunity to get to know each other before school starts. We also have a popcorn social the day before school for all the students and families from kinder to 6th grade to come together and celebrate the start of the school year. We drink lemonade, eat popcorn, listen to music. It's also exciting for the kids because the teachers post the class list on their doors, and the kids get to see who else is in their class. On the first day of school, right after drop-off, the PTA hosts a back-to-school coffee. Here, you can find volunteer opportunities and get to know other parents. Nadia had already mentioned Project Cornerstone program, which is one of my favorites, and it's a program that you may be interested in volunteering for. I have been a Project Cornerstone volunteer for 6 years. I love this program because it teaches the kids the social emotional learning through a series of books and activities. And the kids learn how to be kind to others, to themselves, and they learn how to recognize the caring adults in their lives. Another great program at Gardner Bullis is the Grizzly Guide program. This program connects a new family with an existing family who has a child in the same grade. The families can organize play dates for the kids and be a great guide for the new family. This really makes the child and the new family feel welcome and helps them be introduced to the community. Gardner also has a buddy system for the students. The upper grade students are paired with students from the lower grades. The upper grade students love the mentor and leadership opportunity, and my oldest son added in that they think the younger kids are really cute. And the younger students love becoming friends with the older kids. My favorite thing about Gardner Bullis are the wonderful teachers and staff. I've loved every teacher my boys have had since kindergarten. And in first grade, my middle son's anxiety became present. Not only were his teacher, Nadia, and the school psychologist amazingly helpful, but so were his previous teachers, the PE teacher, the TLC teachers, my older son's teachers, the librarian, and the school secretary. They were all very supportive during this hard time, which reflects how much the teachers and staff truly care about their students. Needless to say, I'm a huge fan of Gardner Bullis and all that it has to offer. Now, I'll turn it over to Taryn, another parent, who is going to discuss some of the school traditions at Gardner Bullis.
Thanks, Christine. Hi, my name is Taryn Markley. I have 3 kids at Gardner Bullis now. I have a 5th grader, a 4th grader, and a kindergartner. You met the 4th and kindergartner earlier. We absolutely love this school. I cannot sing its praises enough. The small size of the school is a perfect fit for us. We love how everyone knows and cares about each other. It feels like every teacher knows all my kids' names, whether they've had them or not in their class. It's amazing. I am the VP of Community Relations for the PTA, and one of our biggest goals at the PTA, especially this year, is to make sure that everyone at Gardner Bullis, in the Gardner Bullis community, feels involved and connected. We have lots of events and traditions that help with this cohesiveness. One of the kids' favorite traditions are the Friday assemblies that happen weekly and the Grizzly Greatness Awards that are announced at these assemblies. Every Friday, all teachers and students gather to celebrate the week, make important announcements, and cheer on great accomplishments. A few students from each grade are praised with Grizzly Greatness Awards each week to encourage positive character development, such as empathy, enthusiasm to learn, respect for others, and trying their best. Another tradition that the younger students look forward to is being part of student leadership when they are in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grades. They organize spirit days, communicate with the younger students, and make announcements at the assemblies to practice public speaking skills. Some of the announcements that these student leaders make are about the wonderful events that happen at Gardner Bullis. And on that note, I will pass the microphone to Ewan, our VP of Revenue, to talk about some of these events.
Hi everyone, my name is Ewan, and we have been at Gardner Bullis for 6 years. I have a 5th grader, a 2nd grader, and an incoming kinder for the next school year. One of my favorite aspects of our school is all the amazing events that happen throughout the school year. We have fundraisers such as our walkathon in the fall and an auction in the spring. These events raise money to support our PTA programs. We have a book fair that the kids love, a very popular field day where all the students spend the day competing in different field games, and a STEM Expo, one of my favorite events, where students from all grades get to learn about a STEM experiment, innovation, invention, or scientific inquiry of their choice. They then present their work to our school community, and it always amazes me to see what the kids come up with. At Gardner, we feel that it is so important to celebrate diversity. Our multicultural fair is one of our most popular events. Last year, it spanned over 1 week where we had performances from different cultures, a bake sale, and a night where each country has a booth to share their cultural traditions, interesting facts, and delicious food. Also, throughout the year, we have family fun nights. These are another way for our school community to connect. In the past, we've had bingo nights, movie nights, game nights, and a skating party. During this COVID period, we've continued to engage our families. We've had a back to school scavenger hunt, a virtual walkathon, and coming up, we have a virtual gingerbread house decorating party. The overarching theme for all these events is to help build a strong sense of community and also to create new memories and friendships. We are so lucky to have parents at our school who are very involved and engaged. All of our events are either organized by or run by parent volunteers. Also, we are very fortunate to have close relationships with our teachers, staff, and other Gardner families. A strong sense of community doesn't just happen automatically. So our strong school community at Gardner is very special. I believe that this strong sense of connectedness helps give students a sense of belonging and confidence. I've seen my oldest, who started out as a very reserved student, develop into a confident fifth grader who's engaged both in and out of the classroom. My kids truly love school and their teachers, and as a family, we've made such good friends here. I look forward to seeing you at our school events next year. Next, Allie Granberry will talk about.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allie Granberry. I'm the Executive Vice President of the PTA this year. I have 3 kids, a second grader, a kindergartner, and a preschooler who already knows his way around all of the playgrounds on campus. It's my 3rd year at Gardner, and I remember how overwhelming it felt for my oldest to start a new school and for me to get to know a new community. I started volunteering in the classroom as a way to meet parents and get a feel for the school. I loved being able to connect with parents while prepping for classroom projects and chatting before and after the school day. As the year progressed, our family got more involved in the community events that Ewan and Taryn talked a lot about. Because Gardner is such a small school, you start to recognize people's faces pretty quickly on campus and around town, and there are opportunities to meet other parents too through social events off campus. The small school environment also gives parents a way to bring their ideas to the table and to share their passions with the community. I've always been really focused on ways to give back to those in need. And so my first year here, I approached the PTA to pilot a donation project for a local organization linked to our school book fair. That project led to a new community service group on campus called Gardner Gives Back, which we launched last year. We now have monthly service projects conceived and run by our student leadership that our families can participate in as a way to give back to our greater community. I'm constantly in awe of the dedication our parent community gives to our school, to support our teachers and staff, to plan amazingly fun events for our kids and their families, and really to shape the character of the school. Particularly in this last most difficult year for everyone, I've been humbled by how the community rallied together to help each other and foster connections with new families, despite not being in person on a regular basis. Before I enrolled my eldest child at Gardner, I heard from friends about the beauty of a neighborhood school. Your kids' friends and their parents, soon to be your friends, are all close by, and you're within walking or short driving distance to school, so it's easy to merge campus life into your already, I'm sure, very hectic family life. In just a couple of years, I totally understand what they meant. Gardner has moved from being just the kids' school to an extension of our family. And with that, I'll pass the baton back to Ms. O.
Thank you, parents. We are so appreciative of our parents, and that was amazing. I love listening to everything that the school does over and I could listen to it over and over again. That was amazing. Okay, so that is our school pre-COVID, right? And you probably are wondering how the school year looks different during this pandemic. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It has been challenging. It has been heartbreaking. We have gone through a lot as a community with parents and students and teachers. We've been doing this since March. Los Altos School District is one of the few districts that is open. And even with Governor Newsom's announcement today, we will continue to be open, and we'll continue to bring continue bringing grade levels onto campus. So currently we have kindergarten through 3rd grade on campus with us right now. Starting Monday, our 4th and 5th graders are joining us, and then January 11th, our 6th graders are joining us, and on January 20th, the middle school 7th and 8th graders are going to be able to return to campus. So what does that look like? I won't spend a lot of time on this portion of the presentation. If you have questions that you want to ask me in particular, we could do that at the end, or you can call or email me. I'm happy to talk to you in more detail. The reason why I don't want to spend a lot of time is because my hope is when we come back to school in the fall of 2021, which is the school year you are interested in, we are going to be back to all of that amazing normalness that we all just shared with you. But in a nutshell, our school district is offering everything from 100% in person. Well, we're not offering that. That's part of the continuum, that we would all be back 100% in person to 100% virtual. And we are sliding back and forth on that continuum as needed, as for instance, today's order from Governor Newsom. So right now we have a blended hybrid program for parents that choose that. You heard the teachers speak to that. The hybrid blended program is 2 days a week on campus in small cohorts, small groups of students, and then 3 days of asynchronous learning. 100% virtual is another school. We do have Gardner families that have chose 100% virtual. So that is another school within the district run by different teachers other than Gardner teachers and a different principal. And those students have chosen to remain virtual for the entire school year. So the difference between the blended and the virtual is here on this slide, but we've basically have talked to you about it. 2 days in person, 3 days asynchronously. The students have contact with the teachers every day. So even if they're at home asynchronously learning, they will either have a morning meeting, for instance, on Wednesday mornings, or they will have a closing meeting that you heard Mrs. Loebner speak to. So every day of the week, they are in contact with their teacher. They're in contact with multiple teachers, actually, if you talk about the PE, the music, the arts, all of the specials that happens. Virtual is 4 days a week virtually on a learning plan, with Wednesdays as an asynchronous day. So this is just illness prevention in our classroom. We have gone through a lot to ensure safety of students and staff. We all wear masks the entire time that we are here. Our kindergartners, you saw little Sailor and Perrin, they have no problem wearing masks all day. It has been wonderful to see, actually surprising to see. I thought maybe kindergartners would struggle with the idea of wearing a mask throughout the day, but no problems whatsoever. We have 6 feet social distancing, so they come into different parts of the campus, they leave at different times, they play in different areas of the playground. The cohorts don't mingle and mix at lunchtime. They're just within their small cohort or their small pod. We have an extensive cleaning regimen. We fog every day. We fog every night. We wipe, we clean. Doorknobs are clean throughout the day. Bathrooms are clean throughout the day. And our staff is COVID tested every 2 weeks, not asynchronous, that word, no symptom COVID testing, right? Our staff is tested every 2 weeks for no cost to the staff, and we get rapid turnaround, pretty quickly turnaround. And that's all just to help us stay safe. We spent a lot of time, the administrators in the district, the principals, the curriculum and instruction department has spent a lot of time, and then the curriculum instruction department spent oodles of time with the teacher teams. Talk about collaboration. The teachers have had a lot of voice and a lot of discussions. They meet on a continuous basis and they talk about the blended and virtual programs to ensure that rich instruction, to ensure that those strong relationships continue. It has been challenging. Like I said, it's been heartbreaking. It's been hard. We are in a pandemic. It is not perfect. It is bumpy. It's a drag, all of that stuff. But every single one of us, parents, students, staff members, we are committed to do the best that we can in order to provide those rich learning opportunities. And we have these comprehensive learning plans, so students will continue to learn through this very strange time in our country, in our world. So that is the Los Altos School District and Gardner Bullis. I believe, we obviously all believe that it's the best choice. If you are a TK parent or a kindergarten parent and you are interested in registering, this is the timeline. So TK is if your child turns 5 in between September 2nd, you just missed that September 1st deadline. Through December 2nd, if they turn 5 in between those months, they can participate in our TK program. Gardner Bullis does not have a TK classroom here on campus. There is one at Santa Rita down the street. You would go to the Santa Rita TK class for that year, and then you would have an opportunity to stay at Santa Rita if you bonded with that community, but we would love to welcome you back when your child was ready for kindergarten. Your kindergartner has to be 5 before September 1st. And this is Miss Bridget. We all love and adore her. 29-second video.
Hi, I'm Bridget, School District Registrar. I can't wait to meet you and your children in person. I know there's a lot of questions you might be having about the registration process at this point. I just want you to know I'm aware and I'm here to help you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions you have. When you do get down here, I can't wait to tell you about all the great things that are going on here in the Los Altos School District. And again, welcome, and we're really happy you're here.
So you can make an appointment to see Bridget down at the district office. She is there to help you. You can give her a call. You can go onto the Los Altos School District website. There is an actual complete page of how to register and what to register with, what you need. You can also call Gardner Bullis School and speak with my admin assistant, Sherry Flynn. She is very happy to answer any of your questions, but the open enrollment period is now. It starts now, and it will go through February 12th. And then we will fill, as there is room. So if you register after February 12th and there is no longer room in your home school, then you will be given a choice of the next closest school. And if you have any questions, I think I can stay on, and I'm sure some of the parents can stay on. I do want to excuse the teachers, but if you have any questions, you can either unmute yourself and ask now, or you can email me, naskulkoff@LASD Schools. You can call Gardner Bullis, or please visit our website. We have just a packed website. Our webmaster does an incredible job. You'll see my messaging every week that goes out to the community. You'll find lots of answers, lots of exciting things on our website at gardnerbullis.org. And that is our presentation. I don't know, I see a question in the question box. Okay. What is the process for PASD transfer? So I do not know that exact answer, but Bridget, who you saw the video just now, she would be able to answer those questions with you. Because you're going from district to district, it's a little bit more complicated than an intra-district transfer, which would be from school to school within our district. Are there any other questions? Does anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question, or you can put it in the chat box? Another question. Do you offer any evaluation to assess whether a child is ready to start kindergarten? Are my teachers still on? I'm going to pass that question off to you, Mrs. Loebner or Mrs. Farley, either one of you.
Well, we do actually meet with incoming, prior to COVID, we met with incoming kindergartners in May for a little small group time to meet with both teachers, where you got to meet the kids and ask them great questions and hear about what they're interested in learning about, and just kind of generally see how they transition and work with others, just to get a little snapshot. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that again this year. My fingers are crossed, because it really is nice when we go to make the classes to say, oh, I remember that child. And, you know, when we think how well they might work with another child, and it really helps us as with our forming the classes. So fingers are crossed that we get to do that. Did I leave anything out, Mrs. Farley? No. Okay.
The next question is, what is the URL for setting up a meeting? I think if you're referring to with a meeting with Bridget to register, you can just Google LASD school district. I think that's what you're asking, or you can call. I think one of the easiest things is just to give a phone call to the district or here at Gardner Bullis, 559-3200. And we can answer your questions there. It was in your PowerPoint deck. Couldn't grab it before you switch slides. Okay, let me see if I can grab it, and then I will put it in the chat box. Okay, are there any other questions? Well, I just want to thank the panelists for being here with us tonight, and especially the students and our Grizzly mascot. All of that was amazing. So thank you, everybody, panelists. I appreciate your time as always. And anybody want to jump on a Friday assembly, the links you can find on our website in the bear tracks. You'll go on the website and you'll see a bear tracks, and there's usually some links in there, and anybody's welcome to jump on. It's a Zoom link to a Friday assembly to see a little bit more, not quite as polished as this, because we have children leaders and sometimes it's wah, but it's super fun to see them, and you're all welcome to join us any Friday morning at 8:30. So parents, I will see you tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you. And I'm going to see if I can find that URL really fast for, let's see. Let me see. Can you guys see the slideshow? You probably can't, huh? Got it. Okay, I'm going to put it in here. No, I'm going to put it in. Ooh, I don't have a chat box. Let me see. Answered. There we go. Let's see. Reopen. Boy, this is all very challenging and new. I don't see how to post it in this question. Maybe if you can ask me again, if you're still on, if you can just say URL, and maybe it'll let me answer it again that way. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I think this is what you're asking for. So do you guys see that in the question and answer? Can you see that in the box? Yep. Okay, great. I think that's what you were asking me for. If not, I apologize, but I think if you just Googled LASD school district, it will come right up. All right, everybody have a great evening. Happy Thursday, almost Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow.